like to call our board meeting to order. Are there any comments from the public regarding items on closed session? No. Okay. I close to recess to closed session, yes. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming. We are reconvening to open session. Have it on.
Oh, just close it to you. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you please stand for the pledge? Flag is right over there in the corner. Actually,
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
well, let's see, it's on.
I just close. Just move it.
Move it closer. Okay. How's that? Can everybody hear me now?
It's the echoes coming off of here because of it.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay, I will talk in my teacher voice. How's that? I need approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved. I move we approve the agenda.
And can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are on input from the public regarding items not on open session agenda. I would like to read first our statement concerning any comments that might be made. Members of the public who wish to be heard by the board are asked to complete this card. Once recognized by the board president, the speakers should come to the podium and introduce themselves for the record before addressing the board. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes, depending upon how many people wish to speak. Groups commenting on the same topic are limited to 15 minutes. With board consent, the board president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation comment, depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. The president may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. The board will not comment on items unless they are agendized. However, the board reserves the right to clarify or correct any misinformation stated. Each individual speaker may only address the board one time per unagendized item as per board bylaws. During agendized item, the board president reserves the right to ask any speaker to stay on the current agendized topic. Once warned and the speaker continues off topic, the board president reserves the right to ask them to be seated or to have the microphone muted. And I just ask everybody to please make your comments in a respectful way and understand that we all have the intent for the best of our schools and to please appreciate that. I'm sorry?
2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes will be our speaking time because of the amount of speakers that we have. Is everybody okay with that? Great. Okay, our first person is Casey Jones.
Good evening. Okay, good. I don't have to hold the button. Hi, and for the Zoom folks at home, I'm Casey Jones. I'm the band and orchestra teacher at Annalene High School. I'm here to talk about March, this month of March, which is Arts Education Month. And specifically for me, it's Music in Schools Month. But I know through all the wonderful artful things that happen in Sebastopol and West Sonoma County, I want to encourage the board to make a proclamation for the arts. And I want to thank the board for the support of the arts in the past, whether you attended the events, talked about, encouraged the arts that happen in our wonderful school district, or created art yourself. So I want to encourage the board to make a proclamation in support of the arts for Arts Education Month. I know it's already March, so it is a little late. Apologies for my lateness, but you should have received a Google Doc that has a template proclamation, which I'm not going to read you all the whereas arts education, etc., but it is pretty concise and it's pretty well written. I didn't write it, but borrowed it, and it's endorsed by several statewide organizations, including the California Music Educators Association, the Create California, and the California Arts Education Association as well. So please check that out in your email. And I know that the agendas are already set for this meeting, obviously, and for next week's meeting, but I would encourage the board to continue support through that in an arts proclamation. Speaking of which, there are events coming up. So we have our musical Legally Blonde, that's in March at the end of this month on the 28th, 29th, and 30th, as well as in April, which is April 5th, April 6th, and April 7th. And there are mostly evening shows and a few matinee shows. Check the website. The evening shows are 7 p.m. and the matinee shows will be 2. April 5th, we also have an art show, which is an arts benefit thing, which is called the Empty Bowls Project. And that is a benefit for the food bank through the arts. There will be performances by a dance company as well as some jazz students of mine there, and that's all run by Andy Antwood in the arts. And that's 5:30 to 7 at Antwood. We also on April 10th have the Only in Wesco Film Festival over at the Rialto. And for those who didn't get the chance to see our wonderful dance shows over at the amazing PAC over there, there'll be another one April 27th. Almost made it. Please check out the flyer. Sebastopol Center of Arts has an art series, and we'll have a series of performances then. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Could you please hold your applause? Thank you very much, just because we're under time constraints. So, Casey, you're off.
It's okay.
Okay, Mary Pricker.
Hello, I'm Mary Tricker. I'm a resident of this area. I have 2 topics, 1 minute each. I timed them. The first is student loans. At the last meeting, Mr. Alexander mentioned that his students had an opportunity to learn about student loans, which is wonderful, of course. But student loans have a downside, especially in our area. The Federal Reserve reported 5 years ago that Guerneville, one of the lowest income areas in the Bay Area, had the 2nd highest median loan balance of $29,000, the 3rd highest delinquency rate, 28.6%, the 4th highest default rate at 21%. And this is especially tragic since student loans are one of the few loans you may never get rid of in bankruptcy. Unless you have low income or get lucky, you may have to pay for years and years. So it's important that when we teach students about student loans, we also teach them how to borrow as little as possible and how to pay it back. Thank you very much. My second topic is solar. Thank you for your report last month on our energy usage. Everyone's working hard on that, and that's great. I hope soon Andrew will give us a report on how solar is doing for us financially, because while we're saving electricity, I'm not sure we're saving money yet. If we borrowed $4.6 million in 2011 to install a solar, as a Sebastopol Times reported, then add interest on the loan on top of that. Jenny didn't give us a report on what we've saved financially in the first 6 years, but since 2017, we've saved $1.9 million. So we may not have broken even yet. Add that to the fact that solar panels steadily decline in production, and we do seem to see that on our dashboard, and their lifespan is about 25 years or so. I just hope we'll keep track of our financial investment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary. Bonnie Russell Lira.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Russell Lorraine, and I'm a teacher. I've been teaching for 33 years. I have a master's of science in educational leadership, and I have been a 504 coordinator at my school. I am here because I also have a daughter who has combined ADHD. Most people don't know what combined ADHD is. It's a mixture of hyperactivity and inactivity. The statistics for the general population of high school dropouts is 15%. The high school dropouts for students with combined ADHD is 32%. Long time ago, I worked with Mia Del Preti, and we worked in the special ed department, and Mia Del Preti was a rock star. She kept timelines that made sure that we were following the timelines. We had follow-up meetings to make sure that accommodations were being met. That's not happening at Ann Lake High School. I have a daughter who has a 504 meeting. Today, I had to hear a teacher say, I don't have time to meet with you because I have a family. Well, as a 33-year teacher, 33 teaching, I have never in my life said to a parent, I don't have time to meet with you except at 11 o'clock in the middle of the day. As a working parent, the school is discriminatory towards working parents because I need time to meet with those parents. I meet with the teachers before school or after school. My daughter was sick for a week. I needed time to find out what she was missing and what she needed to do. I needed to pick up that information and talk with them. And I was told no. I finally got a meeting with the principal and that teacher. The only way I did is by saying I was going to file a complaint with the Office of Civil Rights. Should I have to file a complaint with the Office of Civil Rights to have a meeting with a teacher? I don't think I should. And I'm a teacher. I know I want to protect my boundaries. I need time with my family too. But I have never, I'm going to repeat that again, never said I could not meet with a parent before or after school. Thank you.
Thank you. Loretta Castleberry. Sorry.
Hi, for the people at home, I'm Loretta Castleberry. I'm the president of the Annandale Alumni Association. And tonight, I just would like to invite all of you to our annual Annandale Golf Tournament. It's always the first Friday of May, so this year it's May 3rd at Windsor Golf Course. If you're not a golfer, and even if you're a so-so golfer, it's a fun tournament. It's not serious. Those of you who've been there know it's not serious at all. And if you're not a golfer, you're welcome to come to the dinner and to the auction. All of the money that we earn, 100% of our proceeds go back to projects at Annandale High School. So I'm going to pass around to you. You're welcome to take one. One is the flyer for the tournament and dinner and auction. And the second one is if you have a business or know of a business, or if you are talented, can whip up a project that you'd like to donate to the auction, fill this out. And I guess you can give them all to Jeannie because she's on the committee. And then she'll give them to me. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Loretta. Okay, we need a motion for the consent calendar.
I move that we approve the consent calendar.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or concerns? All those in favor? Aye. Action on items heard in closed session.
Comment not.
Can you go backward?
I don't know what happened to her. She turned it in, but there were so many.
Daryl. I'm sorry, we missed one public comment. Sarah Kloster. I apologize. Hi, Sarah. I'm sorry about that.
Hi, my name is Sarah Foster. I'm a behavioral assistant here at Annandale High School, and I'm here to talk about the diaper and toilet and feeding stipend. I want you guys to remember the number 550. We want to be supportive and gentle and kind and to have our children feel safe with us. So when we diaper them, that they have a good experience, but we do deal with feces and drool and urine, and we are in the bathroom 550 minutes a week. We also teach the kids that you don't eat your feces. We also have to make sure they don't self-gratify themselves while they're in the bathrooms. These are things that we do on a daily basis. Also that we have students that we have to plunger the toilet because they go so much in one section that your toilets can't even handle the amount of feces that come out of them. We have to clean their bodies, we have to wash their clothes, we have to wash their bottoms and see the date, the night before, any extras that have now stuck in their pubic areas. We have to clean those things. Not many people in this town want to do this job, and I love my job, and I'm just saying this because you guys need us, and we need you. And also, I want to talk about the tube feeding. I don't know if you guys have ever tube feed a child. If it goes wrong, you get stinky, sticky bile all over you. And it's a long process, and it's hard, and we have been called health aides on the papers that we have to sign, and that's not in our job description. And I just want to say thank you very much, and remember that we spend 550 minutes a week in the bathroom. Thank you.
Okay, action on items heard in closed session. Sean. You can do this, Sean's gonna be
I move to approve the recommendations of the administration in student discipline case number 2-.
I'll second. And I believe we need a roll call vote.
Yeah.
Debbie?
Aye.
Jeannie? Aye. Sean?
Aye.
Louis?
Aye.
Aye. He's got one, hold on.
Okay. I move to deny the request from Kate Oetzinger for an unpaid leave of absence in the 24-25 school year. Trustee Aiello seconded the motion, was 5 ayes, 0 noes. I move to approve or to deny the request from Violet Tyndall for an unpaid leave of absence in the 24-25 school year. Trustee Fernandez seconded the motion. It's 5 ayes, 0 noes. I move to deny the request from Nicoletta Lupin Philpott for 0.4 FTE leave of absence for the 24-25 school year. Trustee Fernandez seconded the motion. 5 ayes, 0 noes. I move to approve the request from Cole Wilkinson for the district to continue at the district expense the employee's employment in the medical insurance plan to the end of the 24-25 first semester. Seconded by Trustee Aiello, was 5 ayes, 0 noes. And during the previous closed session, the board acted to authorize the district superintendent or designee to notify 2.4 FTE temporary certificated employees pursuant to Education Code section 44954B that they will not be reemployed for the 24-25 school year. There's a roll call vote, 5 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you very much. Association reports. Lily, would you like to go first?
We're still voting, so I'm going to wait until next week.
Okay, thank you. How about CSEA? Thanks. My name is Julie McClelland. I'm the librarian, used to be in this space, at Amity. I'm speaking on behalf of the CSEA Executive Board tonight. We are looking forward to starting our next negotiation sessions next week. But we're here to ask you to not approve the layoff of the College and Career Center Coordinator position for reasons listed that have been listed in the resolution for the board tonight. Lack of work and or lack of funds, as we feel that neither of those are the true reasons. As classified employees, we are support staff. We support our students, teachers, admin, and communities. We fill the gaps and pick up the slack to keep these schools running smoothly, to support the wellness and education of our students. The position of College and Career Center Coordinator does the work that supports all of these people and positions. This position definitely supports our students to pursue what they need to do in their life journey, creating an action plan, whether that be Santa Rosa Junior College, a university, a technical school, gap year plans, or going straight to work. It supports teachers by working with them, presenting information about post-high school plans, by coming to the senior classes to talk with them through what to expect during their senior year. They're terrified if they really want the information. Speaking about many topics, and takes a load off of those teachers knowing they have someone who can meet one-on-one with students and their parents or guardians to develop a plan in a way teachers just don't have the time or information to do individually. This position supports our counselors by taking the time to meet extensively with students and their guardians to make a fleshed out plan of a post-high school plan. This takes tasks off their plate to allow them to focus on academic counseling with so many students. It supports our community donors and scholarships in supporting our students through the financial gifts and connects them to the students through applications, interviews, and our amazing senior awards program. Who will do the work of supporting our students and their families as they apply to colleges and navigate the paths of financial aid? Who will show them all their choices and work individually with them to find a good fit? Who will be the liaison with the Santa Rosa Junior College to bring their Santa Rosa, the JC Jumpstart program and application workshops to our school? Who will hold the multiple FAFSA workshops to guide families through the minefield of paying for college, as was mentioned earlier? The library is completely packed to the brim the last FAFSA meeting that was held. They ran out of chairs. Who will have the depth of knowledge regarding local internships and jobs? Who will be the editor for so many college essays beyond the one that students generally write for their senior English class? Who will recommend seniors for a variety of other community scholarships, such as the Press Democrat Awards, which we swept last year, by the way? Who will carry the continuity of all this support and care? If your answer to these questions involves hiring extra certificated, administrative, or outside vendors, please rethink those choices. It is wrong to replace our classified employees, but it's also much more expensive. It will also send us back to a new learning curve again. Our students and staff will be paying the price while you reshuffle and try to figure it out. Just as the district has realized that they do indeed need a third vice principal. After trying to serve our students with a reduction this year, don't let our students down and experiment with what they need next year. We believe you'll find that this position is also absolutely integral to our students' well-being and success. It's in the library, so I see it every day. In the past, each of our high schools had a college and career center, but when we consolidated, we reduced down to only one person, but it was quickly apparent that that job was just too big for one person. So last year, we had a second college and career center person. She was added to work with freshmen and sophomores, and then was a backup for big things that needed to happen, big projects. When that second person resigned last spring, the decision was made not to replace them, even though the College and Career Center was the top goal for our last LCAP, round for 3 years. Since the pandemic, our students have shown that they need more help, not less, more support, not less. As classified employees, we're the most cost-effective way to bring this support to our schools. We have shown our worth this year by carrying our school through a complete administrative change. We, the classified employees, are the reason our school has stayed steady and our services have stayed consistent. We carried on for the sake of the students, teachers, and community. We as a community are not completely whole yet following consolidation. We are still carrying the weight of our school and still supporting. Change can be good and necessary, but experimenting with restructuring without a concrete plan in the name of saving very little money, that should not be the way forward for next year. Our brand new admin team has not even seen one full cycle, one full school year of what the College and Career Center does to support all our students. Why not leave this position in place while restructuring?
Let's work together to develop and implement a new vision for the College and Career Center and the needs of our students while saving this classified position. I want to remind us of the portrait of a graduate. What are the words? Curiosity, empathy, resilience, balance, collaboration, and communication. Leah Woody is the embodiment of every single one of those. Please do not lay off this position. We need all of us to keep this school afloat and moving forward for our students.
Consideration of approval of supplementary textbooks for English. Can I have a motion?
I move that we approve. Try to find the language here. I move that we approve the recommendations of the Anley English Department for adopting the text for the English department.
And a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 2, discussion and possible action regarding Progress Pride flag request. I kind of like to jump in here. At the last board meeting, we saw a proposal and request to fly the Progress Pride flag, which was very compelling. We also had a student express concern about that. Therefore, I would like to propose that we turn this item over to our DEI committee, which was formed and developed at our school district for these very specific types of issues. I think it would be great to get more history and more input from a variety of people at our community. So I would like to propose that the Progress Pride flag request be turned over to our DEI committee. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we would like to now have questions and concerns from the board. Anybody have questions or?
Can I just remind you guys to please use your microphone?
Go ahead.
So the flag issue is not as simple as it seems. I'll say for myself, I support the idea. I think anything we can do to make any member of our community feel safer and more included is a good thing. I think that it's important though that we have, we figure out policies so that we have really firm ground to stand on. And I know a couple of meetings ago, I spoke out in a way that seemed flippant, and I'll own that. Maybe that way. But what I was trying to say about other flags is that we have to be careful not to make the decision just based on a whim. It's like, okay, I like the idea. I think we should fly the pride flag, for a month or so. However, that's also my particular belief. And I think we need to have solid ground to stand on so that when the next group comes to us and says, we want you to fly this flag, that we can say, well, yes, that fits our policy and therefore we're happy to support that. Or we can say, no, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to entertain that because we have something to stand on. And so my concern was that by just saying yes without thinking through the implications, we're going to be in the position at some point of having other requests and not having anything firm to stand on. I'm more concerned about how we say no to certain things that I think would not be a good fit. But we can't be arbitrary about it. As a board, we have to serve the entire community in a way that's really fair and open-handed. So anyway, I think the DI committee is a good place to try to sort through that. I think we need just to have a really good, solid policy, and so that when we say yes, it's really clear that it's based on something that gives us the groundwork to say yes or to say no.
Jeannie,
Thank you, for your thoughtfulness on that. I really appreciate your comment. I too, personally don't have an issue with, flying the pride flag. My only concern was, what do we do about other organizations that then want to fly a flag, and how do we get around saying yes or no? Or so your idea of coming up with a clear policy on that is a very good idea. And I think you're right, using our DEI committee might be a very good quote unquote job for them, because that is exactly a great thing to put in their lane. It's exactly what the committee was designed for. So I concur with that idea. I really like that idea. So thank you, Lewis, for suggesting that. And Julie, you suggested, and thank you, Lewis, for concurring with that. Because it's been one of my dilemmas is what do we do when there's, that conflict? Because the young man who spoke at our last meeting that kind of spoke against the idea of flying the pride flag, it was a real eye opener for me, because he is a part of the activist group and opposed the idea, which kind of befuddled me, because he felt like, and I don't want to put any words in his mouth, but he felt like by having the pride flag flying, it actually maybe would make some students feel unsafe, and really call some students out and make some students feel really uncomfortable. I thought that was really very interesting. It was an interesting perspective. And I really appreciated the fact that he had the courage to be able to stand up and say that. Not everybody can do that. So that was really very refreshing to see that he was willing to do that. So thank you for your guys' idea. I like the possibility of that.
Debbie, just 1 second. To clarify, we do have a flag policy. However, it's vague and doesn't address all the issues that activists wanted. So what I am suggesting is not that we don't have a flag policy, but that it needs to be, much more specific and detailed. But go ahead, Debbie.
Thank you. Couple of things. I think I want to start with the fact that there has been a little bit of a lack of information provided. The student who came and spoke at our last meeting didn't have the benefit, as most of the public, until it was published in the Sebastopol Times, the actual proposal that the student activist group presented to us about the pride flag. And what he said, I won't put words in his mouth because I remember what the words were that it felt like a Band-Aid on a bullet. And I think if he had seen the sample resolution that was submitted by the activist group, they did their research, they've been working on this. I guess I didn't realize for how long, but the newspaper article said they've been working on it for the academic year. They're not just asking us to put up a flag and call it a day. And I think that's what the community might think, because they haven't necessarily read all of the information that's been provided to us. It was asked for it to be a part of the meeting packet last month, and it wasn't. And I think it would have really benefited all of us and allowed us to have a better conversation. So I want to read one part of it where after the resolution resolves the flag to be raised, it goes on to talk about educational and supportive initiatives, and that we would collaborate with staff, students, community members to develop programs and support systems that promote understanding, acceptance, and advocacy for the LGBTQ plus community with a focus on those represented in the Progress Pride flag. And so I think that it would be a wonderful thing for us as a board to ask the DEI committee to come up with that piece. However, the resolution needs to come first because the resolution then assigns it to work that we will be doing. So I've been digging in a little bit to the Youth Truth Survey and I brought data from just one data point. I feel safe during school. Our district is in the 45th percentile for LGBTQ students, for all students that in Sonoma County, the 45th percentile. Students that identify as LGBTQ are in the 20th percentile. That's a big difference, 54th percentile for students that don't. We have a moral and legal obligation to provide a safe learning environment. That's in our resolution that formed the DEI committee. That's the opening statement in it. I feel safe during school based on gender identity. We rate 45th in Sonoma County, 45th percentile. A boy, if they identify as a boy or a man, 63rd percentile. Girl or woman, 37th percentile. Non-binary or gender non-conforming, 12th percentile. Prefer not to describe, 4th percentile. Sexual orientation, heterosexual, 57th percentile. Gay or lesbian, 40th percentile. Bisexual, 25th percentile, and prefers not to describe or identify, 10th percentile. Transgender, 7th percentile. And person of color, which I add because this flag, the Pride Progress flag, also represents people of color. 23rd percentile. So this isn't a difficult, complex decision. Tony Thurmond, the state superintendent of education, in June 2023, raised the Progress Pride flag. He said, this flag is a representation and celebration of our diverse community and student body in the state of California. We raised the Progress Pride flag at the California Department of Education to stand in solidarity with our Black, Indigenous, people of color, transgender, intersectional queer students, educators, administrators, and families. Dr. Amy Carter at the Sonoma County Office of Education, this is in tiny print, in June 2023, raised the Progress Pride flag, saying Section 201 of the California Education Code states, all pupils have the right to participate fully in the educational process, free from discrimination and harassment. California's public schools have an affirmative obligation to combat racism, sexism, and other forms of bias, and a responsibility to provide equal educational opportunity. It is the intent of the legislature that each public school undertake educational activities to counter discriminatory incidents on school grounds and within constitutional bounds to minimize and eliminate a hostile environment on school grounds that impairs the access of pupils to equal educational opportunity. For students of color and LGBTQ+ students who disproportionately experience discrimination in school buildings, Symbols such as a pride flag can help foster a more inclusive and affirming school and fall neatly under the state mandate to undertake educational activities to counter discriminatory incidents. Visible displays of support for LGBTQ plus students like pride flags are all critical components of creating a kind of welcoming environment that helps young people be successful in school. And in addition to that, I understand from the newspaper article that the office staff at Annalee has also agreed to hang the flags. So what I'd like to see is that we could bring this resolution tonight, or we could bring it back next week at our meeting on the 12th and approve the resolution and ask the DEI committee to assist with that educational piece that is so integral. We don't just want to raise a flag without talking about what the meaning is.
I guess my feeling, in why I made the motion that I did, it's not that I disagree with anything you said, Debbie, but part of the DEI committee in order to give a voice to our entire school community. And I'm not convinced yet that we've done that. So I think the DEI committee would, give our entire community, look at it and make sure our entire community gets a voice before we vote on the flag itself. I would like that committee to look at all aspects of it, take a little bit more time, get more information, get more input from the community before we vote on that. And that it would make me feel more comfortable that we gave everybody a chance to have a voice.
I hear that, and I can make a separate motion after, if you don't want to add anything onto this motion afterwards. But I think what we're doing here tonight as a board of 5 and 6 is stating what our goals are as a board. It makes more sense for us to state our beliefs on the record and then send the work to the board committee, which is the DEI committee. It seems like a better course of action, but we can go forward with this because I'm not opposed to the DEI committee working on it. But I will make a motion also to bring the resolution back next week.
Can you remember?
So the first thing I'd like to do is, thank the members of the Student Activist Club that prepared an amazing draft resolution. And I would like to remind the board that should I be given direction to prepare a resolution presented to the board by district administration, I've got a really good framework to do so. However, the draft resolution that was prepared is not in votable form. So I think that I am willing to take direction from the board, and I just want to commend the student activists that put together a really solid framework for a resolution that could be brought to the board, recommended by the district administration. So, thank you.
Julie? Go ahead, Jeannie.
I was going to say the same thing, that I appreciate the fact that the activist club group put together a resolution, albeit I'm not comfortable voting on a resolution tonight. Like Chris said, we do have to make sure that it's been vetted appropriately, and even with that, I'm not comfortable voting on a resolution that I haven't been able to kind of, review and regurgitate and really kind of get into. And so I would not be, and I'm not even sure I'm ready to vote on something for next week. I really believe that we need to let the DEI committee review this, give us an idea, some suggestions. Maybe they work with Superintendent Meredith on a resolution and bring that back to us and give us that thought and that idea, or come back with some ideas. And then we take that up.
Debbie, do you have a downside of turning it over to the DEI? I mean, what is the downside for you?
No, I actually think it's a great idea to have the DEI committee work on this. I would like to see a resolution of intent from this board that we agree to fly this flag in conjunction with whatever other pieces of the resolution, such as the educational components.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay, we have a few public comments. Anita.
Oh, I'm Anita Sandina, teacher and coordinator of diversity, equity, and inclusion at the school. And I wanted to share an idea that I thought of related to the flags, and I'm hearing that the flag that is considered to be includes a lot of different groups. And I was kind of hoping to even include more. Like maybe we could have a flag for each of the state recognized months, like our Black History Month, Women's History Month, etc., so that we attempt to include more people in being seen, heard, honored, and cared for on the campus. So that was my idea related to the flag. And the DEI committee is open to the public, and we meet March 14th for those folks that would like to join in what looks like something we're going to be thinking about really soon here.
I'm Aziza Greer, I'm a senior at Alien, and I'm a co-leader of the Activist Club with Sabine Wolfert, but she couldn't be here tonight, we should family in town. But I'm just here to tell you that Sabine and I both support Miss Samina and her idea about raising all of the flags. Yeah, she has the Activist Club email.
So I really appreciate that. I think that's what I've been thinking about in regard to a really thoughtful draft of resolution is, should this be the will of the board? Should we want to add some depth to the current policy 6115 regarding ceremonies and observations? Should we want, should I get direction to prepare a resolution? And mind you, resolutions of this nature need to be vetted, they need to be thoughtfully crafted, they need to be reviewed by the district's legal advisors. I think that's a really great idea to think about the other representations that could be included in a resolution. So I really appreciate that suggestion. And that was where, kind of some of my reservations in terms of just being really thoughtful through this process. And I know that it's taking some time, and I know that that can feel a certain way for those that are passionate about what they propose. And so I ask people to be patient as we go through this process. We're hearing you and we care, and I think we've shown that through our commitment in developing a resolution that was presented to us from the Student Unity Network regarding the DEI committee. That was presented, we reviewed it, we presented it back to the district, board of trustees, in voting form recommended by district administration. So should it be the will of the board, I think we're trending in that direction. And so I just wanted to really provide a little more clarity and transparency about why the process takes a little bit longer than some of you know.
David Sherry.
Thank you. Jerry, my name's Jerry. I have no objection to sending this to DEI committee to do some work with it. I think it is important that if you're going to do that, that you be clear what you're asking the DEI committee to do. I heard the motion was creating a policy, and then I heard that maybe more being producing a resolution. And so I hope that whatever, motion you vote on is clear. I'd also encourage you to maybe, in the motion, or maybe hear from the superintendent, what kind of time frame you're expecting some of this back. So it, help alleviate any sense that maybe you're sending off the DI committee to die a quiet death, which I hope it always makes sense. I do have concerns about expecting too much in terms of a policy, because I think there are innumerable sorts of requests that you're going to get, and any policy that you're going to get is going to leave gray areas. And ultimately, these decisions come down to what you as a board, as individually and collectively, decide you want to do for any case. And policy may help provide some parameters for that, but it's not going to give you a black and white answer in most cases. So I encourage you to try to move as expeditiously as possible on moving forward with this particular request. If that's not tonight, then sometime soon. I think it's important to recognize the concerns that were raised at last week's meeting. And even if you were to vote on it tonight, I was going to recommend, and this is planned anyway, to look at dealing with those issues of people feeling alienated, creating divisiveness in this group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think that regardless of where the motion goes, development and any CSBA policies, and as the board of trustees know, we work with CSBA to draft policies. We take baseline policies as written by CSBA, and at times there are opportunities to customize those policies to reflect current district practice. So, you know, I don't believe that that's the role of the DEI committee. I think the DEI committee will help inform how the policy may include more depth regarding the district's practices. But the baseline policy is framework directly provided to us from CSBA. So I think that it could be an opportunity for us to hear input, then look at appropriately drafting clear policies to reflect any practices that might change through the direction of the board, the input of the DEI committee and members of the Student Activist Club who proposed this idea.
Are there any more questions or concerns from the board?
Julie, can you remind me of exactly what you said for your motion?
Oh, yes, I was planning on doing that. Thank you. The motion that I made was to turn the Progress Pride flag request over to the DEI for recommendation to the board.
May I recommend a friendly amendment to that will incorporate some of the things that we've heard and discussed, where you could add to that this board supports the raising of the Progress Pride flag, and in order to fully map out the process whereby this happens, we will ask the DEI committee to, and then add in those pieces. What specifically are we asking them to do? What is the time frame? And that I could be real comfortable with.
I don't mind a time frame. However, I would not be in favor of giving them our opinion yet until I hear their recommendations and reasons why. I would like more information and input from the community before I vote. Even though personally I agree with Lewis, I want to hear the information from the DEI and the community before I vote.
But what is the information? What are we asking? What is the task
Policy.
that we are setting?
Draft
A
policy.
recommendation for a policy and
For the resolution. The policy already states that we can I don't think we have to change the policy to do this. We need a succinct resolution about this. Is that what you're?
I want to, I'm a little confused on what you're asking. I want the DEI community to recommend a resolution or a policy that would be, representative of everyone and full inclusive of our whole entire school community.
So we're asking the DEI committee to bring back to us a draft resolution that will allow the Progress Pride flag and possibly other flags, along with some educational content, back to the board. Approximately.
That's specific.
Well, I think that the committee needs the specificity. They're a board committee. We have to give them a.
To represent on the flag. I don't want to tell them to do that. I want them to research what the community feels, how they feel, look at different policies and recommend to the board flag policy that incorporates the feelings of the entire community. I don't feel comfortable telling the DEI committee what to recommend.
I think that's our responsibility as the governing board.
I don't at this time. That's why we have a DEI committee. I want them to be the voice of the entire school community. And I want to hear that before I vote on the plan. Why?
It's your resolution then.
Exactly. I want the motion to be that we turn the decision of flying the pride flag over to the DEI committee to make a recommendation. Whether that's to fly it or not, I don't know yet. I want to hear their opinion.
And what is the time frame for that?
Well, my thought is that based on what I'm hearing President Aiello say, is the concept comes to the DEI committee, considering the creation of a resolution that could be more encompassing than the initial proposal. I like that. Recommend potential district practices that could be built into our CSBA policies. Again, I want to state for the record that the DEI committee does not set policies for the district. District administration recommends policies, board sets policies. So I think to be clear, Anita mentioned that our next meeting is on the 14th. I think this could be a really, robust and engaged conversation in which I think will also encourage others to attend. This is a public meeting. We could amend the DEI agenda to include conversations regarding the consideration of creation of a resolution based on the draft that's already been proposed for tonight. At that time, I could also solicit input from the DEI committee around any potential language that could add depth to our current policy. But I don't know that that's necessary. So I think we do have a framework. I think really it's the intent. But what I did hear with regard to what could be included and give the policy a little more depth, as I say, is what do we do when we say no? So I think that's a great conversation to have with the DEI committee. Maybe, just brainstorming situations that could be something that might not be beneficial and advantageous for the school student community. So I think it's pretty clear what I think you're asking for, and that would be how we would bring it before the DEI committee. But the time frame, since the meeting isn't until the 14th, would mean that we wouldn't be coming back to the board with a potential resolution in votable form until the April meeting.
So it would come back at the April meeting.
Yeah.
My concern here is that some of these students are seniors. So I don't want this to go beyond June.
Understood. And the board can also direct me to a special meeting, should we see a sense of urgency, or if we feel really good about the progress that takes place within the DEI.
Can I make a recommendation that we say that we want to try to have this decision made by our May meeting at the absolute latest? Because Julie just said she'd like the DEI committee to do a little research and work with the community, the school community. And I don't know that can be done between now and our April meeting. It may take a little longer for, you know, people to do a little bit of talking and working and, you know, doing some networking out into their classes and with their classmates and.
This could happen quicker than that, so what I'm thinking is the agenda has not been set for the April meeting. I think that I'm hearing that the potential that the district gives me direction to bring it to the DEI committee on the 14th. And, you know, I know that our committees and the members of the activist club that felt passionate to present this, you know, will you know, move. But I also know that the reason for bringing this to the DEI committee, is to ensure that there's considerations on both ends. And I do want to reiterate that it was compelling for me to hear a member of the activist club speak in opposition. Not to say that that is going to be determine the outcome, but I think that's part of the conversation, how we include everyone, because that's truly inclusivity. So I'm not sure it's necessary to put that time frame on it. That's really the will of the board. I'm motivated, if given the direction, to work with the committee, put the wheels in motion. We've got a really solid draft in place. I truly like the idea of incorporating maybe other ways to celebrate within that resolution, so it's not just about the Progress Pride flag. So those are my thoughts for your directions for me.
I appreciate it coming back sooner rather than later, so I like April. May, it's real close to graduation. These students have been working on this, I think, all year, but initially came to us in December asking to be heard. So I feel like pushing it back to our May agenda would be not the best thing to do. I also want to correct, I've heard a few people tonight mention that Dylan, the student who spoke up at our last meeting, is a student that is a member of the activist club. And I'd like to correct the fact that he is not a member of the activist club. And so he did not have privy to this information. I think if he had, his comments may have been different. I think he was coming from the perspective of only hearing, oh, they want to put up a pride flag. It did not know that there was all of these other elements built into it. So I just wanted to clarify that for the record.
We were just going by what he actually said at the meeting.
He said that he's a member of the LGBTQ community.
Okay, well, I think it's time to vote. Karis.
Aye.
Debbie.
Aye.
Jeannie.
Aye.
Sean.
Aye.
Louis. Aye. All right. Consideration of approval of recommended revisions to CSBA December 2023 updates. Can I have a motion?
I move that we approve the recommended revisions to the CSBA.
I will second. Are there any questions or concerns from the board? Anything you want to say?
Second reading. Unless there's any questions.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Human resources. Consideration of approval of employment contract for Executive Director of Human Resources, Dan Blake.
You need a motion?
I will
enthusiastically move to approve of the hiring of Dan Blake.
Can I have a second? Mia.
Okay, so we do have an employment contract for Dan Blake, and I believe that he's sitting there somewhere in the audience. Stand up, Dan. Okay. I did attach his employment contract to the agenda item, so if the board has any questions.
Do you have any questions or concerns? Okay, I think we can vote. Jean's not here. Do we need to wait?
Yeah. Unless you want to move back to the next slide.
Want us to wait for Jean because she wants to vote. Okay. Jeannie, we are voting on the approval of employment at the Lake right now. So I have to do a roll call vote. Debbie. Jeannie. Aye. Sean.
Aye.
Liz. Aye. Consideration of approval of monthly personnel report. I have a motion. In a second.
Second.
Yeah.
I do have a couple updates. The first one is a request from Paige Greco for a 20% leave of absence for next school year. Ellen Hulamard, 20% leave of absence for next school year. And Julie Kellogg, a leave of 20% leave of absence for next school year. And we've also hired Dean Wright as a substitute custodian, and we'll be using him as needed.
Thank you very much. Any questions or concerns? Do a roll call vote. Debbie? Aye. Jeannie? Aye. Sean?
Aye.
Louis?
Aye.
Aye. Consideration of approval of resolution number 9, March 2023-2024 regarding reduction or discontinuance of certain particular kinds of service for the 2024-2025 school year certificated. Can I have a motion? And a second? I'll second.
Thank you. So the resolution that is brought forward to the board has a total FTE of 4.10 reduction for particular kinds of services that was outlined in the resolution. These are preliminary layoff notices, but I can tell you that based on our retirements this year, that nobody will be getting.
Great. Any questions or concerns from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Or we have to do a roll call on that? No?
I believe we do.
I didn't think we did. I think maybe we do. Okay, let's do a roll call vote. Debbie?
Aye.
Jeannie?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Louis?
Aye.
Aye. Consideration of approval of resolution number 10, March 2023-2024, and the matter to decrease the number of classified employees due to a lack of work and or lack of funds. Can I do in a second?
The district is proposing a resolution to eliminate position number 400, which is our site career center coordinator. This particular resolution for classified employees is also preliminary. And if anything changes between now and May, the district, I will definitely need to bring forward to the board a final resolution for your approval in May. But we have spoken with the employee and they understand that this notice that they'll be receiving this week is a preliminary layoff notice.
Yeah, would you like to?
Yeah, so in order to provide a little more context to this agenda item, both for the trustees as well as our community members here tonight, I want to share, and if you remember, we presented last month, a clear picture of our dashboard indicators and an update with regard to our LCAP processes. We've been carefully evaluating our college and career readiness indicator data, and through ongoing discussions with our LCAP and partner meetings, we've heard what appears to be a clear message to us that we really need to improve in this area. Our intention with this item here is thus to facilitate a change in the way in which we provide student support in the area of college and career readiness. The intent here is to add an additional credentialed school counselor at Annalee to support this work. The reason for this approach is that student counselors are trained and specifically authorized by their state credentials to develop, plan, and implement school counseling programs that address both the academic and career development of students. By moving in this direction, we believe we can not only provide more general school counselor support to students at Annalee, but also leverage the specific school counselor expertise and training to help our students develop their present and future educational and career plans and create integrated opportunities to explore all available options to support their post-secondary interests. We intend to reimagine how we provide comprehensive wraparound counseling services for our students, including targeted college and career readiness supports.
I have a question, Chris. Basically, the intent of the district is to continue helping students with application processes and finding jobs outside of the school. Am I correct?
Correct. It's just really to reimagine how those supports were provided with the additional 5th certificated counselor.
Any other questions or concerns from the board?
Chris, yes. So, I've been in those LCAP meetings, that's as Karis, and, the sense that I got is that what we need to do is, bolster that area. And, it causes me quite a bit of concern to, have an idea, a vision, and take away something that has been so beneficial in order to attempt to bolster. I would rather see, I appreciate that you're working on this vision, and I do think we need to increase our counseling staff. But I don't think that needs to be at the expense, and I don't think that should be at the expense of the college and career site coordinator. We've seen in the past, decisions made, thinking that that there's the magic bullet, there's the solution, and then there's all kinds of unintended consequences. When there's change. Students are with us for 4 years. Juniors and seniors just have 2 years to work on this stuff. I don't want to pull the rug out from under them. They have a solid foundation with the system that we have. And I would like to see us find a way to do both.
Any other questions or concerns from the board? Yes, Karis.
All right, I have a little pre-prepared statement.
Okay.
So first, I'd like to start by saying just how proud I am of my peers that are here to speak tonight. I feel incredibly honored to be in the same school as so many people who are this passionate and engaged in our community. And I hope everybody here tonight feels the same way, whether they agree or disagree with what we said. I feel that it is my responsibility to use this platform to speak against this decision, as I haven't heard a single student who supports this choice, but countless students who disagree with it. From a personal perspective, Ms. Woody has been an incredible resource for me. She's the reason I got my summer job, the reason I was chosen for the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, the reason I was able to apply for a variety of local scholarships. Recently, I've been nominated for the Press Democrat Youth Community Service Awards, and she has been with me every single step of the way, making sure that I have everything I need to be eligible, from essays to an interview. She coordinated essentially everything. I didn't have to do anything other than show up and be there. Throughout my time here, she has done so much for me, and I am simply one student out of almost 1,500. By virtue of my position on the board, I've had the privilege of serving on the LCAP committee, so I know the future goals of the district. I know that our statistics for college and career readiness are strikingly low, and it's the reason you're making this decision. However, I find it impossible to believe that cutting what is essentially the only college and career resource on campus will raise our numbers. I understand that the goal is to reimagine how we provide these resources to students, but I believe that it is a fundamentally poor decision to get rid of Ms. Woody, who has given so much help to students, in favor of a vague experimental alternative. Gonna go off script for a second. I have been here at school for 4 years, and each of those 4 years, I've had a different counselor. Our maintenance paper counselor is not incredible. And I don't believe that it's a great idea to just hire another counselor, because from my experience, I haven't had the same counselor for more than a year in a row. So I'm going to college next year, thanks in large part to Ms. Woody, but my heart goes out to current and future Annalyn students who will doubtlessly be hurt by this decision. I encourage the board and administration to reconsider this decision, but if you feel that you absolutely have to go through with it, use Ms. Woody and input from the students, please, input from the students in reimagining our college and career resources. Thank you.
Comments? Go ahead, Sean.
So I guess my question is, I don't know Ms. Woody, and there's obviously lots of community support, student support for her. But in terms of removing the position, does it make sense to keep the position while we make this transition to a different, what sounds like it's probably going to be a better process for supporting students?
I think, I just want to remind, the board of trustees that this is the only position, not the person, right? I do appreciate, all of the kind words and support that we've heard with this item. The district simply has to make decisions within a budget that's funded in a mechanism that we don't control. So, that being said, we can't have everything when we make decisions regarding personnel, program, and I hear Paris, you make really good points. I think that what we've also heard through our LCAP Ed partner meetings, and specifically with students that listen to visiting leadership classes, is we do need to reimagine how we provide our operating counseling services. Our district is so large and we do have so many students. Adding an additional certificated counselor that's trained in different areas, I think will allow us to have more personnel to do that, and our principal with the input from the students. I think if we're not listening to the students, we're not listening to the students. So I think that would be the plan in reimagining what counseling looks like at Annalyn High School.
So if hire somebody at a lower rate to hire a new person at a higher rate, students give consent.
When you call out like that, we can't hear you, and the people at home can't hear you, and we can't record it, so that doesn't really work for us. So if you want to say something, please do it in the correct manner so it can be.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I just want to say that unfortunately, it is the board's job to be fiscally responsible. We listen to our community and added and the vice principal. I agree with you, Karis, that we need to re-examine our counseling department and how the services are given. And that's why I asked the question. I absolutely believe that support needs to go to our students, and I certainly do not want support to. However, unfortunately, we don't get all the money that we would like to have. So we have to look at, what is needed most, what has been identified as the issues, and another counselor and another VP really take care of a lot of problems, and hopefully those are extreme intention to make sure those services that the students need absolutely are provided. Yes, Louis.
I feel very conflicted and, sorry. So I feel very conflicted about this and I feel like I need more information. Can we bring it back next month or is there a time deadline?
There's not a deadline of the notice needs to go to the employee prior to March 15th. So we are bound by those deadlines.
And can you explain, a little bit more for the board that this is a preliminary layout?
So these are preliminary layout, the resolution that you're approving tonight. And with the notice going to the employee, it's a preliminary notice. And a lot can be decided between now and the May meeting when we have to do final layoffs.
So we got another swing at this.
Yes, we have to, it's a requirement that we have to do the final layoffs in May.
Any other questions or concerns from the board? Yes, Debbie.
Chris, so will you be bringing a report back to the board outlining this new counseling program that you have prior to May 15th?
Should that be the will of the board? Yes.
Well, I think that that is what Louis is looking for, because we're making a decision in the dark here today. And I don't know, I'm not planning to support this. And I think that if I were in a position where I'm told, well, we'll have an opportunity in May to pull this back, that I would really want to make sure that that was going to be there if I was feeling the way that Louis is.
Need more data.
Kind of data do you?
So I think, remember, the item is to vote on the thing. So the agenda setting process, which agendized. Take direction from the board, this is your meeting, but I do want to recognize this agenda item. Preliminary layout deadlines that we must adhere to. So
In my past experience at the elementary school board, we did have to do preliminary layout notices for teachers, when we didn't know what enrollment would look like. And it was a very difficult situation because people, they get those pink slips and they worry and they go find other jobs. And then come May, we say, oh, look, we have enrollment's gone up. We can take you back. Some of them have already found other jobs. And it just makes for a very unpleasant sort of being throughout that spring semester. This doesn't seem to be about enrollment. So I'm wondering what would change between now and May 15th from preliminary? You're not looking for enrollment changes. What would change between now and May 15th that would cause you to pull that back and reinstate?
I mean, initially, I was asked to potentially bring it back. When you're laying off a position due to lack of work or lack of funds, it's simply the district's decision not to fund the position for the reasons that we discussed tonight. The budgetary constraints that we foresee, the current budget, the state of negotiations, the decisions, future negotiations. So I don't know that I can answer that question for you, but I will allow the board to take a look at this item and potentially give me direction to bring back more data at a future agenda item ahead of the final layoff vote.
Okay, it is time to vote. Debbie?
No.
Public comment?
Oh, I'm sorry, public comments. Oh, give it to me. Okay. I thought you guys were all just sitting there watching what's going on. John, correct?
Yay, John.
Thank you. The reason this is a terrible idea is because those of us that have been at schools for many years know that counselors are working and they're very keeping the day-to-day functions of the school going. They're working on getting students in and out of classes, et cetera. I've had a son go to the junior college. Leah Woody explored many options with him. Whether we're talking about Leah Woody, the person, or the position that Leah Woody fills, what she does is unmatched on this campus. What counselors do is day-to-day. What she does is long-term, setting our students on a path for a very productive future. I had a daughter graduate last year. She goes to Portland State University. She discovered that opportunity because of Leah Woody, and she weighed that with Ms. Woody on several accounts. I have an exchange student, Melissa Namutebi, but will also speak here tonight. She was in this country for 3 weeks before she even had a schedule. The counselors are so varied. To think that counselors are going to add their current job description to planning students' futures, I think is pie in the sky, rose-colored glasses. And I've seen firsthand that Leah Woody gave Melissa more time translating a Ugandan transcript, a British transcript, an American transcript than all the other people at this school combined. To think that you're going to eliminate that job is incredible to me, especially without a very, very clear plan that would be laid out in her stead. Thank you very much.
I know you guys all really appreciate what they say, but our meeting is, running really late, and I'd appreciate it if you would refrain from that. Aziza.
Hi, hello. So I wasn't originally gonna say anything because I know a lot of the people here are here to talk about their individual experiences. But I started a petition for people who may have graduated last year and don't live here anymore. For parents in the community who are working parents who couldn't be here. And it has almost 900 signatures at this point to not eliminate this position. And on a more personal note, I think Chris said it well, there are a lot of students at this school, and we're the ones that you are all here for. And it's kind of hard to convey student experience to you all. But the kindness and compassion that that spot fills is unmatchable. And it is so safe. It would be a great mistake to get rid of it. And I'm gonna pass out the signatures and comments from the petition to you all.
Thank you. Joyce Harlan Khan.
Hello, as you heard, my name is Joyce. I actually graduated from El Molino 5 years ago. When I started at El Molino, we may have had a person in the College and Career Center, but I didn't know. You said that this is about the position, not about the person, but with all due respect, the person is the position. We may have had someone in that position, but I had no idea. When I got to my senior year, it was Leah who reached out to make sure that I knew what I was doing, that I had the help that I needed. She sat down and helped me sign up for the FAFSA and for the JC. She helped me explore other options in case that's not what I wanted. My father's coming up soon. She helped my sisters figure out what they wanted to do with their life. My younger sister April is currently in Germany working on being a veterinarian with the Army because of Leah Woody. This woman embodies the position and the spirit of what it is to help students. Eliminating her position would be a grievous mistake that would leave students feeling drowning like I did. I had no idea what I was going to do, where I wanted, and she's helped me outside of school as well. I graduated and she's still reaching out to make sure that I'm doing okay, that I have the support I need. I'm going to Chico State in the next year or so. So because she sat down and asked me if I still needed help. So the position is the person, and you need to keep this person. You really do. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Chris Kahn. I've had 4 children go to the West Sonoma County High School District for the period of 20 years. I understand the district wishes to eliminate the position that Leah Woody currently has. That counselor focusing on college counseling. I'm at a loss to understand why. Mr. Meredith, where is the cost savings in this? Where does it come out of the budgets? Many years managing businesses, multi-million, international, national, this does not make sense. California Education Code 49600 was established to empower California student districts to provide these much needed service. One of the purposes of an education is to provide the children with the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in life. In order to do that, it's necessary to have someone with the experience and dedication be available to assist our children to determine where they want to go in life, where they want to go, and to help them navigate the myriad systems and processes necessary to do so. Leah's done this admirably. One of the main reasons my daughter Joyce was successful in her senior year in her ongoing education was due to Leah, as she stated earlier. Leah listened and worked through her goal to become a forensic anthropologist. Without Leah's knowledge of the system and her compassion, we don't know where they've gone. My daughter April wanted to be a veterinarian. With her grades, even though they were good, there's no one could have afforded to go into veterinary school. Leah Woody realized that the Army had a veterinary program. She is currently in Germany as a veterinary technician. Her first step to become a veterinary licensed and an officer in the military, so she'll be able to come out and have a real career. My daughter Christina wants to be a teacher in K-8. Leah was just going to get her into the right path, because apparently the counselors, one of the people at the JC, said, oh, take these classes. They were the wrong classes, and would put her in the wrong area. When she was in her IEP, transferring from El Molino to Amley, she started crying in one of our IEP meetings. Nobody in that meeting, except for Leah Woody, helped, reached out to her, or touched her whatsoever to make her feel better. Nobody did, not even the counselor. Leah Woody needs to be in a position. The position should not be eliminated. If you do, you are abdicating your duties as a district and for the state of California. Thank you.
Taylor Hanson.
My name is Taylor Hanson, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Leah Woody. In the last 4 years, I'm a senior. I've been to 3 high schools. And it is the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life, and that is saying a lot. When I came to my junior year, Leah reached out to me and she asked if I needed help with anything. Just making sure that I was fitting in okay, making sure that I had friends. And I did, but I didn't even know she existed until the 3rd quarter of my junior year. I went to El Molino my freshman year. The last year it was open. The 3rd year I went to a place called Quest in Santa Rosa. I left Quest because of the social and just educational blocks that I had. Coming to Amley has been one of the best decisions I've ever made, both because of my friends and because Leah has been one of the most stand-up people in my life. If it wasn't for her, I would not be having the life I do right now. She is the one who has convinced me to actually go out for architecture and become a woman in STEM. And without her, I would not be succeeding the way I am. I implore all of you to please rethink the removal of her decision, because she is an integral part of our school's society and the way that people connect with each other. She works with everyone on campus, whether you're a freshman looking for a job or you're a senior who's looking to get into Cal Poly because you wanted to go into STEM. One of my best friends wants to become a paramedic, and without Leah Woody, that would not be happening right now. She would be struggling with it. One of my other best friends, who is no longer in the school, is currently looking into becoming a brain surgeon, and the only reason that that's happening right now is because Leah Woody was able to convince her and help her with it. So again, I am begging you, please rethink your decision, because Leah is someone who is known by all and a friend to all, and she is willing to help everyone on the campus. Thank you.
Bridget De Leon.
Hi.
I'm Christina Yellen. This is my 19th year as the account clerk at Hamilton High School. I'm a community member from Forestville, Boulder, Dollars, went to Toledo and graduated. I'm the treasurer and the chief negotiator for CSCA Chapter 72. I wanted to give you guys one example of how this position is linked to the other classified work that supports our students in our community. My job is intertwined with the position of Site Career Center Coordinator through our scholarship program. The site CCG position works with students applying for scholarships as donors regarding student selection. On the other end of it, I work with the students, the donors to get the money to the school, and the students to get the money to their schools. Sorry. Leah plans and carries out the senior awards event, and I help with the budget for that. We've worked together since before consolidation, learning each other parts of this process to create a process that supports the scholarship program and our students. Truthfully, it was not easy. Consolidation was hard on many levels, and sorting through our personal experiences, hers and mine, was difficult. We did it because this community and our students are very important to both of us. A big part of consolidation for my position was learning the ins and outs of the scholarship donors that came to us from Emelino, as well as sharing Lee's donor info with her. Leah was instrumental in connecting me with them and sharing history necessary for me to do this part of my job with knowledge and respect. Many of our scholarship donors for both high schools have lived here for generations. Knowing the circumstances of their gifts, as well as the family or civic group's history, is so important. She didn't have to help me like she did. You know, it was really hard for them when we consolidated, but she did. And I believe we were able to keep many of those scholarships for our students because of that. These are important personal connections she has made with our community that I think we should all know about when making this decision. Communication with these groups and families needs to be prioritized and should not be farmed out to some corporate entity. They've already been through a lot. I'm afraid that we may lose some of their support if we make this change. I have one more slide.
Thank you. Or Long Beach.
Good evening. My name is Llewellyn Orlandi. I am a senior this year, and I'd like to express my concern about the decision to remove Ms. Woody from her position and eliminate the entire college and career position on campus. I'm worried about the effects that this would have on future students at school, as her position plays a vital role on campus, one which touches every single student. She helps us on matters of great importance. Everything from dual enrollment, signing up with the JC, college applications, financial aid and scholarships. And I did not want to cry while I was up here. Without her, students at this campus would be lost. And as Taylor mentioned earlier, I want to become a firefighter paramedic. Without her, I would not have the opportunities that I have right now. I met Miss Woody my freshman year in this very library, and she made such a connection with me. She remembered that I wanted to be a firefighter paramedic. And she came back to me my sophomore year. She hunted me down and she told me about an opportunity that was arising that summer, and it's called Camp Cinder. And there I learned that I can become a firefighter. It was an all-female firefighting training camp. And I had the immense opportunity to be a part of it because of her. I also was able to become a fire explorer with the Sonoma County Fire District because she helped me sign up and she guided me through that process. She was holding my hand and cheering me on that entire time. These are career building experiences for me. I have furthered my career and I have proven to myself that I can do this. I have gained valuable connections in my industry because of this woman that you want to get rid of. I'm sorry, I'm gonna finish real quickly. And the decision that you are making here affects every single student on this campus. And it is a grave mistake to do so. And I implore you, please, to think carefully about this decision. Think about the personal effect that this will have on the students furthering their education beyond high school. Because if you even have a doubt in your mind about this, you have the obligation to say no.
Thank you. Hope I'm gonna mess up his name, Micah,
Micah.
Mike, okay, sorry about that.
My last name.
Hello, good evening. My name is Michael Gutman. I am one of the moms, many moms of a senior, and yes, I have a freshman as well at Emily High School. I am a foreigner, so is my husband, and I think I can speak up for all the foreign families and parents that we have at our school. We are not familiar with the system, how to enroll into universities and to colleges at all. So for me and my husband, it was essential that Miss Woody Allen, that Miss Leah Woody really helped and supported us. She gets out and beyond of all her abilities. She takes time at any moment. She gives us out her private cell phone number to text, to email, to be in conversation or in connection at any time. She literally works her bottom off for us and for the children. And she has, with all the students, she has such a close connection, such a community. This is her love that she puts in. And we as parents need that support, because do I know how the system works here in the States? The whole FAFSA meeting that we had, it was filled with Latino families, because there's the language barrier, there is the knowledge barrier about this, and the whole complication. She's the one who brings us all together. She's the one who's not an item on the list. She's the one who is a person with her love, invested her free time, her spare time, and as all the students say, she is the one who's caring. It's not just to replace and get rid of. She's embodying this position with all her heart and her love. And yes, I'm looking forward that my son, who is a junior right now, who is a freshman right now, has her support during the next years here at the school as well. Because she's the only person actually who I really get to know personally. None of the staff members. She's the one who is reaching out. Thank you.
I didn't cry, but I'm not gonna start crying. Have any of you on the board ever spent 15 minutes with Miss Woody in her office and seen what she's told students? I guess if you have not. My name is Isabella Campos, if you didn't catch it, and I'm proof that Miss Woody's job is vitally necessary at Emily High School. When I get to my senior year, I was completely lost, had no guidance with anything that was college related, as I'm a first generation college student. I've spoken with her on innumerable occasions about topics related to college, my personal life, and my life after college. Sitting down with Miss Woody in her office for the first time was frightening. And I have a pretty big issue with fearing the future change, as you might be able to see. But she told me it was all going to be all right, and I was going to be successful. As a junior, I was mortified when it came to the subject of college, and I had everyone in my family on my case about the whole ordeal. At 16 years old, my head was about to burst with the idea of all these things in the future, and I was forgetting to live my life. This would be sat with me, calm me down, and assure me that when the time came, everything would run smoothly. When my senior year came, I was panicking, and I didn't have any clue how to work the Common App, no clue how to apply, no clue how to write a personal statement. And guess who took hours of her time to help me write and help me with every single question I had? Miss Woody did. If it wasn't for Miss Woody, I would not be able to stand up with you guys said here today and tell you I got into every single college I applied to and have reviewed $300,000 in academic scholarships.
At the time, I'm sorry, but thank you so much. We appreciate your comment.
I beg y'all not take her position away. She has changed my life.
Thank you. Alan. Hi, Quincy.
So hello, my name is Quincy Allen. I'm a current junior here at Annalee High School. I know so many students here who wanted to be here. And I'm sad I had to miss Chilingo tonight, but the choice between supporting my school and defending it was easy. As I understand it, the official reasons for terminating Ms. Woody's positions were that the position required too much funds and that Ms. Woody doesn't have enough work. These reasons, I'm sorry, are laughable. If we don't have enough money, why did our school just pay for the cost of this year's and next year's AP tests, of which each costs around $1,000? Ms. Woody does not even receive the pay of a full teacher who by themselves don't get paid much. And I assure you, whoever says that Ms. Woody does not have enough work has clearly never seen what she does in a day. Being the only college and career counselor of a school of around 1,400 students means constant work. Annalee's motto, according to the school website, is student achievement is our top priority. What a big statement. I'll admit, I'm a little confused. How does getting rid of our only college and career counselor, who has been shown to support so many people and be so integral, how does that help our student achievement? How we allocate our funding shows where our values lie. That's what it is. That's what we value. So much of the information about our school emphasizes our dedication to preparing students for life after high school, which includes college and careers. How does cutting Ms. Woody's position support this narrative? You say that we should get rid of this person who has been shown to help so many people, who has so many testimonials, and we give it to a counselor? What makes you think a counselor would have more experience with college and career position than somebody who's been doing this for years, who's obviously touched and helped so many people? I have spent more time with Ms. Woody in the past 2 months than I have with any of my counselors in the entirety of my time at Annalee High School. Please, we need her. Thank you.
Who? Kimberly Mullen.
Hello, thank you for your time. I've rewritten this several times since sitting here, but I can tell you since 1986, when I graduated Annalee High School, no academic counselor has had the time to put in any of the effort that it takes to help these kids. And while we're talking about Position 400 and dashboards and reimagining this role, we are absolutely crashing the vehicle of everybody's success. This is your dashboard, and your dashboard is the entire graduating class. If you remember the graduation last year of all of the students who were wearing their sashes and wearing their cords and belonging to groups, and those were barely making it across the stage. Ms. Woody is the backbone of all of your hard work. So obviously I'm here in support of the role. It's crucial for students. I support an in-person, on-campus, dedicated college and career counselor at Annalee who is supporting the student's success. With all the care you do as a board and educators and all the programs that are so rich and offered at Annalee, there is no single thing that you can do to boost all of your effort and to keep this role in place. It's absolutely essential. I don't need to tell you what a difference Leah Woody made in my family's future, but she's made an incredible difference. It's a really important role because she helps all students regardless of socioeconomic background, their interests, their abilities, and aptitudes. It benefits every single student in the school, and you should especially keep Ms. Woody, who is a reflection of your care for the student body, as well as being a goodwill ambassador for each student's future. Thank you.
Emma Mullen.
Hello, I'm Emma. I hope you take the time to listen and reflect on what your students and families have to say on the directly negative impact your decision to terminate Ms. Woody's position will have on their futures. I feel I have a unique perspective on this, and I hope you take this into consideration. After attending Orchard View School, I decided to come to Annalee. At Orchard View School, I had the access to the role that you mentioned that you are planning on replacing Miss Woody with, which I believe you called it a California Certified College Counselor. I had that there, and I can promise you she was absolutely no help. The leading cause of this decision of transferring to Annalee was the access to a college and career counselor that could take the time and effort to get to know my personal goals, ideals, and financial situation. I could not imagine a better person to do so than Miss Woody. From my personal experience working with a certified college counselor at Orchard View School, I know from firsthand that Annalee High School needs a person who cares, not a person who hands out worksheets and puts the weight of the work of college application process on the students. Today, I attend Dominican University of California, where I am working towards a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. This school provides an accelerated and rigorous program to do so. However, the cost of attendance is exceedingly high. Ms. Woody was the one who sat me through the process of applying for financial aid, scholarships, loans, even just applying to college. I would not have known that Dominican University existed if it weren't for her to take the time to get to know me and my interests and where I wanted to go with my life. Your current decision to get rid of Ms. Woody and her position as college and career counselor as a whole demonstrates a shocking lack of care and blatant disregard for the futures of Annalee students. I urge you to reflect on this decision and the detrimental impact your students it has on your students' dreams and needs. Your students and their families are counting on you to keep the essential resource that is Ms. Woody. Thank you.
Good evening, board. It's good to see you all. Lovely faces. All right, let's see. I'm gonna presume that all of you do care about these students' college educations because I know Miss Woody does, because I wouldn't be in college without Miss Woody. I wasn't actually gonna go to college. I was gonna enlist straight in the military and say goodbye. And she convinced me to not do that and to actually go to college and go into the military as an officer, which is what I'm currently doing. She also guaranteed that I would get $64,000 to pay for my college tuition, which I've never personally seen $64,000 in my life, but Miss Woody has granted me the opportunity to see that money. I'm presently a student at Santa Rosa Junior College, and that is where I love to be, and Miss Woody helped me with the Great Start program to get in there, and that was truly amazing of her. I'd also touch on the personal experience of these students here, because it seems to me that every student I've spoken to across my 4 years of high school, both at Omelino and at Annalee, that they all appear to have a personal connection with Miss Woody. Every single one of them. Any other school, I don't know, but it seems here that Annalee has the pleasure of having Miss Woody and that she develops a personal connection with every single one of her students and understands each of her students' needs individually and caters to that person exactly what would be best for them for their future goals and aspirations. Now, to remove that from the school really makes me think that the primary goal of this board and administration is to not care about the student's college experience. Because if you really cared, I'm not sure that this would be on the agenda this evening. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
If you would stop clapping, you would be able to hear me, please. I think it's Kiki Grunman. Might have slaughtered that name. I'm not sure if it's an M or a K.
No,
I'm sorry?
You called me up already.
Oh, well, there's two, I don't.
What is it? Then maybe you want to check the other name.
Well, let's try Shannon Lloyd.
Hi, everyone. Most of you I know, some of you I haven't met yet in person, but it's good to meet you. I'm Shannon Lowy, I'm the school counselor here at Laguna High School. I also, based off of everything that I have heard, I want you to know and just reiterate, if you don't know, I am a graduate of 2020 from the Sonoma State Masters in Counseling PPS credential. I'm an American School Counselor Association credentialed school counselor. I understand what a comprehensive counseling program looks like. I understand what you're saying and the direction that you're going. I support it, actually. I support rethinking college and career. I support rethinking counseling. I want to do better for our students. I believe in our students, and I know that they deserve that. They need a transition period. That's important. That's one piece. That's about the position. Clearly, the person is irreplaceable, and this person has done immense things for this community that I hope, even if that position gets cut, you will find a place for Leah Woody in this district. She clearly needs to be here. With that said, it is not time to cut the college and career coordinator position. You need that position to successfully start a college and career counselor with a 1,600 student school at Annalee. Plus, I'm just gonna add, we also are thinking about college and career at Laguna High School. We are thinking about what we're trying to do, and all of this affects everybody. All of that aside, Leah Woody and Marty Saldana, I know were key players in helping when the consolidation happened, and the name change happened, and UCs and CSUs needed support. That is a major piece to think about in making these decisions. I also want to echo what Bridget said. The key players when it comes to our donors, our community partners, Leah Woody, Bridget, and me. We are in conversation with our donors and our community partners on a daily basis. Please take that into consideration and have plans in place. Be transparent and collaborative with the people on the front lines before making these decisions. It's too soon. Do not make this vote.
Ed Jordan.
Evening, it's nice to meet you all. My name is Doug Jordan. I have two juniors who go to Annalee. And I just, in the interest of time, I spend every Friday afternoon, why that is, at the library in Annalee. And Leah Woody's office is in the library. And there are students out in the dressing room. One of the reasons for this change is lack of work. So I'm there for 3.5 hours every Friday afternoon. There are students in the office every second. There's no lack of work, and I have spoken to her about her job over the past couple of years, and she told me in passing, not bragging about it, she counsels students on weekends. Nobody does that. Right? I mean, I worked at Sonoma State for 20 years. I didn't know any professors who would go a weekend of students. She does that. So she's as dedicated to her students, as you can tell from the comments here, as anybody is. And it would be a shame to lose her as a resource because she's incredibly helpful.
Thank you.
Earlier tonight, I talked about how a teacher had said they didn't have time to meet when my daughter had been sick, or I had to meet them during the middle of the day and take time off my job. I would never, ever hear that from Leah Woody. And earlier tonight, I heard about how you wanted to create a safe environment. All of these kids know when they walk into that library, when they walk into Leah Woody's office, they are in a safe environment. That's what you're trying to do. You already have it. You have it with Leah Woody. Leah Woody, over the summer, my daughter calls her when she has a question about something. My daughter calls her on the weekend. Leah Woody always takes her calls. She takes the calls of all of these students. She's not working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. She's working all the time. And that's what you don't see. She's working overtime. She has so much work to do. She's doing it on the weekends and at nighttime. And you would be foolish to lose her. And you are doing a disservice to these students.
Olives.
Hello, my name is Isabella, and I'm currently a junior at Annalyn High School. I thought it'd be good to hear from someone who had received help from Miss Woody to show how important she is. This is a statement from Remy Allen, Mitzi's older sister, an Annalyn graduate from last year who is now currently in college at UC Irvine, to share why Miss Woody is so vital to our school. And I'll read her statement on her behalf. When I first heard that the school was thinking about getting rid of Miss Woody, I was so confused and shocked. Why would they do that? I thought. What a dumb thing to do. Without Miss Woody, I would not be where I am today as an indecisive student with too much on my plate. It was difficult to figure out what kind of future I wanted. But Miss Woody helped me to explore many different options, and we looked at trade school programs, entertainment, and the workforce immediately, and different colleges to figure out what I wanted. Although I am now in college, I really appreciate the space Miss Woody created to be able to really consider different paths I could take. Overwhelmed by the multitude of different colleges I could apply to, Miss Woody prevailed, having schools present in the college and career center so I could be informed about my decision. The school I ultimately ended up going to was the one in the presentation I saw. When I started getting acceptances, she celebrated them with me and made me proud of my achievements. Always accessible, she responded to my emails and texts quickly, soothing my anxiety surrounding the college application process. She asked leading questions when I was unsure and helped me through my decision-making process, answering all the questions I had along the way. I always knew I could go to her if I had questions or just needed to talk. I'm so grateful and thankful for Miss Woody and Miss Mora. She provides unprecedented value, making me more ready for life after high school because without her, I would be lost. It fills me with rage to think that even this being considered because it would be one of the biggest mistakes this board could make. End quote.
I'd just like to point out a few things I'm always thinking. So Miss Woody, the position she occupies is incredibly essential to preparing students in Annalyn for like after high school, which is obviously the point of high school. And students need college counselor to progress forward to the real world. High school is not just about grades and numbers and data. It's about real people going real places. We talk a lot about equity. We spent a lot of time talking about our DEI community this evening. This is about the least equitable thing we can do. Students who come from under the poverty line, who are of families with low means, won't be able to get any help for getting into college, for getting jobs, for advancing into the real world. Students who have needs will hire private counselors to help them get into school. They will have help. Students who don't, won't. This exacerbates poverty issues in our communities, in the world, in our nation. Funding for the position also exists. We just paid for AP tests for this year and for next year. Just because this job is a stepping stone for some of you, it shouldn't mean that the futures and lives of our students are compromised. Thank you.
Larson.
Hello, my name is Wilder Lorraine. I'm currently a senior at Annalyn High School. Miss Woody has always been an asset, not only to me, but many other students. Since my time at Annalyn, then West County, then back to Annalyn, I've gotten the pleasure to meet and get to know Miss Leah Woody. As a senior, I, from experience, have felt the major pressure brought up from graduating high school and possibly going to a four-year college. Miss Woody's, whose job is to guide students through this process, has not only excelled many times before, as you have heard, but it takes time out of her life inside and outside of school to build connections with each and every student at Annalee High School. Weekly, she posts scholarships, job fairs, and special events that help Annalee students get a better idea of what they want to do in their future. I appreciate each and every second Miss Woody has put into my education and future education, and what she has done for me mentally. She is not only a college and career counselor, but she is a friend to myself and my family. And her work would be very much missed if you eliminated her position. Her love and support is always seen on campus, and I know many students at Annalee would agree. Leah Woody is, as I said, an asset to our school. She has been here time and time again to show her support for each and every student she meets inside and outside of her office. As a senior graduating this year, I would hate for the future generations of Annalee High School to miss a chance to even meet Leah Woody, let alone allow her to support them with her amazing work and love. And the fact that her work would be missed on our campus is, I would say, a tragedy. Please consider your options carefully and realize that the students of Annalee will suffer from the choices of this board. And realize that all of these students at Annalee are staying here till 8:40 at night, crying their eyes out because they love this woman to death. Thank you.
Board members, somebody told me tonight you wear red for Ed, so here I am.
That's for sure.
I'm the classified representative on the LCAP Ed Partners committee. And we started talking about some of these issues at our last meeting last week. I'd like to dig in a little bit more from what you've heard so far. There was definitely some conversation about academic counselors and how there's a need to do a better job, particularly in terms of guiding students in the course selections that they do, but making sure that they do a better job of completing more pathways, CTE pathways. I didn't hear anything about us having problems with our college and career center and the work. There was a suggestion that maybe we needed more counselors because our counselors, our academic counselors, are overworked. And what I remember was our superintendent saying, we may have to work at doing more with what we've got rather than that. Tonight is the first night, it was the first time I've heard that there was any sort of plan about how to backfill the work that Leah Woody does. And I'm very concerned when I hear from my union leadership, I think I got blindsided on this, which suggests to me that there's been a lack of communication and a lack of collaboration on finding solutions to these issues. Rather than your current resolution kind of waffles on whether it's a lack, the work that doesn't need to be done anymore, or whether there's a lack of money. I hope that you can be more specific and work in finding money for additional counselors rather than cutting a very valuable part of what's written.
Thank you. Paige Greco.
You wouldn't put me out to the toll guy. Bored of them. Hi, my name is Paige Greco. I'm an English teacher at Annalee High School. I was an English teacher at El Molino before that. And I administered senior project here at El Molino for the last 3 years that it was open. During that time, and I would say actually during the entire 8 years that I've been in this district, I have taught seniors every single year. I have worked with Leah Woody every single year that she has been here, and she's been an invaluable resource for all of our students. You have already heard them speak to that, and I really want to reiterate some of the things that they have said. I have had students seek me out since last Friday, and some of the things that they have said to me have been, Ms. Woody is wonderful. She was the reason I got into college. I never have figured out what I am doing without her. I would be lost. She was so patient with me, even when I changed my mind for the 45th time. Yes, that is a direct quote. Additionally, you've heard other students speak to her passion, the amount of time that she invests into the student body that is her own, that she is paid for and that she is not. Her love, the way that she nurtures relationships and values what an individual is good at and really seeks the right fit for someone. And the way that she really goes into battle for students, especially for students who do not have anyone else to go into battle for them. I have watched her battle for students whose parents are active obstacles to their futures, who have absolutely no one else in their corner. I have seen her, and if you know Leah Woody at all, you know this is contrary to everything you see on a daily basis about her character, scream into a phone at someone about the fact that they are not seeing what they need to see and that this person needs help and need an exception. I hope dearly that you take that into account. I feel like we are digging a trench in the name of asking for change without any idea what will fill it. The students that will fall into that trench before we figure out what it is we intend to fill it with will not be the students that already have private college counselors. They will be the students that need someone to fight in their corner. They will be the students who have no one else.
Thank you.
And we will not be cushioning their fall with our good intentions.
Thank you.
Buenas noches a todos. Members, trustee Ramirez, you have my heart. Good evening. I'm Maria Luz Saldaña. I am a member, consider me a neighbor. I am a middle school counselor. I feed prospective families, students into your district. You spoke about future students. I'm here for them. I'm here because I need to understand where your district is going, in what direction, because I am coaching, guiding my 8th graders to understand what resources and what's available. I am also a Latino Times donor scholarship to your district for the last couple of years. I was a high school El Molino counselor for over 15 years. I am an alumni. I am your neighbor. I have you in the right position right now with my prospective incoming freshmen to your district. I need to know in what direction you are going tonight. This is really vital for me to market. It is marketing. Leah Woody, your College and Career Center coordinator, is a market tool. You should be marketing. I feel like they are celebrating, and I feel like I'm celebrating somebody who should be actually like a classified person award tonight, but it's not. And I'm really sad to see that because I am here to know in what direction your district is going. Trustees, make a solid, sound decision, a decision that can really tip your enrollments. And I really want to make sure that the future students will be served in a college and career readiness pathway. Leah Woody is your treasure. Keep it.
Thank you. Very hard to mess this name up again. I'm sorry. Melissa Mom. Tell me your name. Can you say your name correctly? Because I know it's a lot in town. I'm sorry.
My name is Namche Melissa.
Is the mic on?
It is.
Talk louder.
My name is Namche Melissa.
Is the green light on?
Oh, my name is Namche Melissa.
Thank you.
I'm a senior at Andover High School. I personally, Miss Woody has been so welcoming to me, so nice, so important. I'm an exchange student, so I come from a very different country. And I was trying to apply for my colleges in England, but my transcript is so different from the British system. I was losing hope and I was like,
I'm not going to be able to apply for my colleges. But when I went to Miss Woody, she actually drove to the Jersey to help me translate and transfer my transcripts to the British system. I had really given up on myself, but she kept on calling me, she kept on sending me emails, she kept on picking me up from class to help me apply for my colleges. I was really happy and it was for free. I didn't pay her to call, I didn't pay her to drive to the Jersey to translate my transcripts. And I was accepted in all the colleges I applied to. I was really happy. And I strongly suggest that you keep her because she's so good and important to everyone.
President Meredith.
Pardon me. I believe I've been skipped.
I've been through the whole list. Come on up.
Yeah.
Tell us your name, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mela Dwicha. I know that you've spent a lot of time listening to people tonight. Sorry. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to each and every one of us, because it matters to us to feel heard. Anyway, I am a TA for Miss Woody during my sixth period. I had a free sixth period, I chose a TA. All right. You have heard all the stories about how wonderful Miss Woody is tonight. I don't think that my story will make you any more convinced. However, I do have some questions about the new system. So when I go into the library, the College and Career Center is right there. If I have a quick question, I can go there immediately. It takes me weeks to get an appointment with a counselor. Weeks. Having one on-campus location to go to get all your questions answered is vital to keeping kids from wasting time trying to track down what they need. If kids have to put a lot of effort into finding their resources, they won't. Straight up, by failing to plan, you are planning for kids to fail. I know it's a cliche, it's cliche for a reason. So many kids don't have the resources for financial literacy to be able to navigate the financial aspect on their own, as well as just the process on their own. And while your system may work eventually, that time in between, you will lose kids. Lots of them. Now, I know that you guys want to move on and I'm ready to let you do that, but thank you for listening.
I think that everything that we've heard, it's so compelling. And these are tough decisions. But if I, as your superintendent, am not listening to your voice and how you as the students feel, then I'm doing an in-service in this role. I'm gonna make a recommendation to the board that we pull this item.
Anybody have any questions or?
Yeah, I just have a procedural question on that because it is on the agenda. And I appreciate you changing your recommendation because I think it aligns with the goals for our district. I think we can find the funds to keep that, but I think we should vote.
I think if I pull the item, there's no need to vote. I think you don't need to vote. That's my recommendation. I think that it's clear. I don't think we need to put the trustees and the students in that position. I think at this point, I mean, that was one of the most compelling board meetings that I've sat in, and I've been following the comments. I really have. You know, these are tough decisions, and in a district position, you do have to look at the position, not the person. But what I know about Leah and what I've heard from the students and the staff and the families that have conveyed, you know, how much she's meant to her at this time, I don't believe that we're ready to make this decision and reimagine this at this time. And that will impact the opportunity potentially to create an additional counseling position, because I think I did clearly state, you know, how decisions are based on, you know, our fiduciary responsibilities, but my responsibility as your superintendent is to listen to our students first and foremost. So we're not ready for this transition, and I don't think it needs to be voted on.
Building maintenance and technology. Considering. Go ahead, students. Thank you so much for your input, Bill.
They need to rescind their motion.
Yeah, thank you. Got it for you.
So I will rescind my motion for item number B4.
Karen, I don't know. I'm sorry.
All those in favor? Now you don't vote on that. We just pull our motion.
I'm covering my face.
Are you guys ready for me?
Can I go on?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go on to facilities maintenance and technology. Consideration of approval of the selection of back contractor and award of preliminary services agreement to contractor for Annalee High School HVAC and roof replacement projects. Request for proposals 003. I have a motion.
I so wonderfully, yes, make a motion on this item.
Okay, can I have a second? Okay, Judy, keep those motions short, would you please?
Yes.
Okay, Jenny.
It's with great pleasure that I get to present this item tonight. We have gone through the RFP process to select a contractor to start on the HVAC and roofing project. I do have legal on the line tonight. So Bill Henderson is here with Orvaca and Henderson to answer any questions, because I know Lease Back is sometimes complicated. And he's here to address any concerns or questions that the board or the community might have with respect to the process that we have gone through. We are recommending Wright Contracting tonight to proceed forward with all 6 of the HVAC and roofing projects. The only project we are starting with this coming Friday for the bidding process is the one that has DSA approval, which is the main building HVAC project. Yes, that means air conditioning on the 2nd floor. And I will
where's everybody to cheer?
So I'm happy to answer questions, and Phil is here as well, so.
Hi, Phil, thanks for being here.
Any questions or concerns from the board? Community? Go ahead, Sean.
If you could give maybe just a brief description of what lease back is.
Great question, Phil.
Good evening, guys. Lease back is, if you will, a procurement process. At the end of the day, you still end up with a contractor who's going to be building your project. What lease back allows is that the district can use the best value selection process, which means you evaluate past experience, some pricing components, their staffing components, etc., in lieu of just the low bid number. And that's the process that Jenny just referenced a moment ago. The RFQ process went out, and the district, actually the board passed a resolution at the end of 2022, I believe, which had all the criteria, the scoring mechanisms, etc. And staff followed that process in the selection process of this contractor, Wright Construction.
And to be very clear, we're recommending award of the pre-construction services tonight. We will start the bidding process with the general contractor this week, which follows statutory requirements for putting it out to advertise to our subcontractors starting Friday. And so the process hasn't fully completed for that main building HVAC project. That will be coming back to you in April for recommendation of award of that contract, which they provide us. You called it something different. I thought it was the guaranteed maximum price for that particular project, but I thought it was called GM. Am I right? Or-
Yeah, it's a guaranteed project cost, which is much like a GMP. And just to be clear, this is what you're awarding, you're selecting the contractor tonight. And as Jenny pointed out, you're entering into preliminary services agreement because part of the next step is they will go out, they'll advertise for all their subcontractors and come back with the final price for the first scope of work. It's all one big project, all the multiple projects, but the first scope is ready to be priced now, as Jenny indicated. And what will come back with, maybe in a month and a half, depending on how long it takes to get that pricing, will be the full-on lease-back contract. It's 150 pages. So that will be what the board ultimately signs off on. And then as different scopes get through the Division of State Architect and are ready to price, the contractor will price those scopes as they go along. And we'll probably come back with amendments, maybe twice, depending on how many scopes are able to come later on. But tonight is picking the contractor, getting the preliminary services agreement going, getting them to price that first scope of work, and we'll be back again, month and a half with the price for that first chunk of work to build it.
Any other questions, concerns? Are we ready to vote? Okay, all those in favor?
That's for the public comment.
Oh, public comment. I thought I already did that. All right. Any other questions, concerns? Okay, we're ready to vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Oh, I was gonna clap for myself.
We've only been trying to do this for about, I don't know, 6 years.
I know.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a good night.
Thanks, Phil.
Consideration of approval of resolution number 11, March 2023-24, allowing district administration to submit an application to the California Energy Commission for the California Schools Healthy and Air Plumbing and Efficiency Program. I need a motion.
So moved.
Can I have a second? I'll second.
I really like to have the longest, most complicated titles in all.
I know, we
board
really
meetings.
appreciate that too.
It's my favorite thing. If you recall, at the last board meeting, we had some similar item to this. It was for the HVAC portion of the CalShape grant. This is for the plumbing portion of it. They're two separate grant-funded programs. So we're going through the process of procuring, I think it was $144,625 from the state to replace sinks, faucets, urinals, and toilets across the district. So this is the first step in us moving forward with procurement of receiving those funds. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Questions out in the community? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That brings us to the conclusion of our meeting. Thank you all for coming.